Okay, we're going to continue our series on the Native Americans. We're going to focus on Central America, Mexico, okay, and we're going to take a look at the Aztec Empire, and also going to talk about the Mayans as well. So this would be the Aztec Empire here, and what is now Central Mexico. Okay, in central Mexico, a nomadic tribe called the Aztecs eventually set up a city and stayed put here in the lake and eventually created their capital city of Tenochtitlan. This today would be current-day Mexico City, which is the capital of Mexico. You see the Republic of Mexico eventually founded in 1869. We'll talk about that later in this semester as well. Okay, so you see the Mexican flag today, along with the decal of the Aztec Empire. Okay, in 1400s, the Aztecs conquered neighboring peoples, becoming an empire. So an empire is a large group or government that controls their other groups or governments. So other empires that existed in Europe and Asia, Middle East, the Greeks, the Romans, Genghis Khan, the Egyptians, throughout history you see empires, but also in the Americas you had an empire that rivaled those. They're kind of coexisting, so side by side. Okay, by 1500 the Aztecs ruled millions of people. Okay, people revolted against high taxes and human sacrifice, only to lose to the powerful Aztec army. So we're going to talk about human sacrifice here. Aztec religion. Religion was central to Aztec life. The sun god was especially important. Thousands of prisoners were sacrificed to the Aztec gods. This here is a rack full of human skulls on display, usually war captives or other sacrificial victims. If you ever go to the Yucatan Peninsula, you'll see ruins of the Aztec and Mayan empire, Chichen Itza. If you go to around the Cancun area, I recommend if you go on vacation there, just don't hang out at the beach. Try to learn some historical things about the people who live there. Very interesting. So here we are on top of a temple, and yes, this is a human being sacrificed and the heart being ripped out. Sometimes thousands would be sacrificed in a day. So the Aztecs believed that the sun god needed daily nourishment, human blood and hearts, and that they, as the people of the sun, were required to provide the sun god with his victims. Warriors who died in battle or on sacrificial stone were called the Eagle's people. It was believed that after their death, the warriors first formed part of the sun's brilliance. Then after 4 years, they went to live forever in the bodies of hummingbirds. So Aztec historians recorded that in 1487, at the great period of Tenochtitlan, executioners sacrificed 4 lines of prisoners, each 2 miles long, but before they were ritualistically killed, the victims were forced to climb up the pyramid's 237 steps. At the top, there were 2 killing rooms, with priests wielding sacrificial knives. Sacrifices were necessary to satisfy their hungry sun god, who demanded blood as payment for creating the world. The limbs of the victims would be given as a reward to the victim's captor to be eaten. According to the Aztec beliefs, the sacrifices were necessary to satisfy the hungry sun god, who demanded blood as payment for creating the world. If his gore fee were not paid, the sun would go out. So you're seeing human sacrifice and also cannibalism. Okay, but the Aztecs were not just bloodthirsty people killing, killing and creating human sacrifice. They were also a very advanced civilization. literature, art, and a lot of agriculture done without the wheel and without the horse and other commodities that were accustomed to Asia and Europe. At the Aztecs grew as an empire very quickly. So by the early 1500s, the city of Tenochtitlan has a population of 200,000 and over 1 million in the basin of Mexico, which was 5 times larger than London, England at the time. So here you see cannibalism was being practiced as well. The eating of earlobes, lips, tongue, calves. And they would be cut open with a very sharp volcanic rock called obsidian. And also the Aztecs had a calendar which consisted of 365-day calendar. And you see this calendar very, very accurate, some of the more accurate in the world. And the Mayans also had the same had calendars as well. Maybe you think, but remember back to the year 2012, everyone thought the world was going to end because the Mayan calendar happened to finish one of its cycles. Obviously, that didn't happen. But you'll see the Aztecs and Mayans were very good at keeping records and keeping calendars and understanding the cosmos. So here, the first movie I'm going to have us kind of watch certain scenes of in class is going to be Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. This is not the Aztec, but the Mayans. And this is Hollywood's kind of view of how the Aztecs or the Mayans, actually in the movie it is the Mayan Empire, really kind of in right before their fall, what happens here. So if you want to go home and rent that, you can. We will watch some parts of it and discuss it and try to compare and contrast what you think was factual from what you've researched and see if Hollywood and Mel Gibson did a good job depicting the Mayan Empire.